We're good now. I'd like to call this to order the special budget committee meeting at 5:15 p.m. Roll call, all of us, Marissa, you have, plus everyone else, discussion, next steps of the budget. So, we've looked at this maybe once, 1,000 times.
No, can you speak up, please?
We've looked at the budget more than once. So any discussions, anything you wanna talk about before we move into the full board?
Hopefully the city gives us what we need.
Anyone else?
Nope.
Sorry,
That's okay.
all looking this way. You're in the corner. Okay, so entertain a, well, I guess a motion to send to the full board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourned at 5:16.
Record meeting.
Wow.
District meeting of the Board of Education at 5:30 p.m. Everyone can rise for the pledge of allegiance. The flag is being lifted. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call the roll when you're ready.
Mr. Berger. Ms. Conway. Here. Mr. Corey.
Here.
Mr. Cronin.
Here.
Mr. Pettis. Here. Mr. Ucalito.
It's here.
Ms. Mona here. Mr. Kitsko.
Here.
Mr. Knight. Here. Mr. Putnam.
Here.
Mayor Carbona representative. Okay. Ms. Ferguson here. Ms. Klimaszewski. Here. Ms. Labby. Here. Mr. Pagola.
Here.
Ms. Schulte. Here. Ms. Beans. Here. Mr. Wilson.
Here.
Set.
Okay. We need anything different for the agenda, right? It's good. No last minute changes this time, so I will hear a motion for the approval of the agenda as it is in front of you.
So moved.
There's something.
Second.
Okay, any discussion, amendments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we have our agenda. School, community service and public participation. So no one is signed up in the room. Is anyone online? Okay. So I'll just put out a quick call. If anybody in the room would care to address the board, now would be the time. Okay, so I will skip the long paragraph and we'll go right to recognition.
So we have a recognition tonight, and the first recognition is for all of the board members, as it is Board Appreciation Month. On behalf of all the students and staff, Torrington Public Schools, we'd like to thank you for your tireless dedication and service and for being part of the team. We know, I know, that this work could not be done without you, and your constant support and your constant dedication to our students never goes unnoticed. So tonight was a small token of our appreciation, as well as some certificates that I will come around and hand out, and just as is customary, we would like to take a photo with them. Thank you, board members.
Thank you.
Oh, you're good right there.
Thank you.
My red children.
The rest of, we're gonna get a photo this way, I think. What do you think? I think if the board stands up this way, we'll get a good angle. Yeah, we have to get a photo right here, I think. We all just stand this way. We just got to photo this way. Everyone's scurried, I'm sorry. Everyone's scurried. I didn't see you scurried. That was quick.
Where we go?
I think as long as Marissa says we're good, we're good. Good.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
More to your left. Okay.
Way to
Thank
go.
you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Mr. Klein. Mr. Klein was part of the scurry.
They all were.
Mr. Klein, you're up, sir. Been three tonight, so where we started, Mr. Wilson, right here, I think would be perfect. This way here. I'm with you, you wanna say something or? you
Well,
wanna-
which one are we starting? No, you got a sequence in your certificate. Wonderful. Alex and Max, we would like to congratulate tonight. They are moving on to the National Convention. They have worked hard on their project. They qualified at the state level. They are working on this project, architect program. Ms. Kalaki has been doing a wonderful job helping out and kind of leading, facilitating, but we are super proud of Alex and Max for going to Detroit this summer to present their brush buddy and be able to kind of show off all of the work that they've done on that, and we are proud of how they're going to represent Torrington in the community, so.
Congratulations, boys.
Take a picture of that. Marissa, we're done here. Let's slide over a little.
Yeah.
There we go. We need to be at the corner. Yeah, perfect. There you go.
So excited.
Our next award winner is Ariel Marriott, who this past month was announced as one of the Chet essay contest winners. This contest was a statewide contest that talked about hopes and dreams and what students in terms of where they see themselves in the future and what obstacles that they have overcome. Ariel is one of our wonderful, amazing students at Forbes who has done a great job, also in the tag program with Ms. Kalaki as well. Ariel exemplifies what it means to be a student and works tirelessly to get the job done. Her prize for this was a $500 college scholarship that went into one of her 403 accounts. So.
Congratulations.
And I've got two poster contest winners. I believe I have on here tonight. One is Olivia Pergola, and the other is Angel She. Angel is here tonight, and both were a local and a regional winner. And Angel is going on to the state level competition in just a few days. So.
Congratulations.
Come on, everyone. I am so excited to recognize our art department and some amazing students tonight. The Summit Club is going through Torrington Middle School. So we have. But I want you to know.
Never a good saying.
But I do want to recognize Mr. Piatto and Ms. Frederick, who is here right now, as well as Mr. Coyne and Ms. Theriault. I'm so impressed. They collaborated with the 5 Points Theater to have an art show for our students. That was truly amazing. Within that student artwork, and I can't remember, there were quite a few, it was over 50 students were able to exhibit their artwork. People come through, and it was just amazing to see that. The students that are also recognized are Abigail Spollinger, Ines Sara, Savannah Anderson, and Alejandra Spiro Perez. They had amazing artwork pieces, and we're so proud of them. Yeah, I think we had some teachers at Torrington, so the students about that here right now, but we did catch their. Yep.
There you go. They have.
Yep. There we go. How's that? There we go. Thank you.
Yes.
I'd like to follow up Mr. McKenna. I believe most of you know our athletic director, Mike McKenna.
Here.
He does something more than just come talk about turf. So Mr. McKenna is being recognized by the Connecticut Association of Athletic Directors with the Meritus Service Award. This is not only a recognition for his lengthy honorable career as our athletic director, but also for his dedication to student athletes, scholarship, promoting sportsmanship, and particularly our unified sports program, which has been recognized across the state.
Great, thanks.
Thank you.
You are good, sir.
Ms. Rinaldi?
Yes.
Did some students walk in that?
Yep.
If they did, we can call them up. Yeah, 100%.
Congratulations.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. Congratulations to everybody who was recognized. We are about to dive into the minutia of the school board's governance. So please don't feel obligated to stay for that part, though you are more than welcome. So with that, I'll turn it again back to the superintendent for the report. Oh, I'm sorry. This will be my mistake. Our student representative. I went too far down the list. Take it away.
So I'm Kaylee Kelly, and I'm the first student presenter tonight from Torrington High School. So recently, entrepreneurship students had the opportunity to attend the Entrepreneurship Innovation Challenge at Central Connecticut State University. It was sponsored by the Junior Achievement, and the event gave students a chance to showcase their ideas, compete in real-world innovation, and interact with professionals in the field. The experience was invaluable for those aspiring to enter the world of business and entrepreneurship, helping hone their skills and creativity. Additionally, last week, our school counselors hosted the second FAFSA night and a financial planning night for families. These events were held in the brand new cafeteria auditorium, providing a welcoming environment for families, financial aid, scholarship opportunities, and important financial planning tools for their students' future. We recently celebrated our National Honor Society induction as well. It was in the beautiful theater we still currently based in, and it was a wonderful night to recognize and honor the dedication and hard work of our students to exemplify the values of scholarship, service, leadership, and character.
Hi, I'm Lily Hall and I'm another student presenter from THS. The HLSA Future Health Professionals Group had a significant experience this month at the Connecticut State Leadership Conference. This event provided students with exposure to leadership opportunities, networking with peers and professionals, and gaining insights into the health sector, which will prove vital as they continue to explore careers in health. Ms. DeMarco's students had the opportunity to engage in teacher observations at Southwest Elementary. This hands-on experience allowed students to get a closer look at what it takes to be an educator and help them gain a deeper understanding of classroom dynamics and teaching methods. It was a valuable experience for those interested in pursuing a career in education. Events this month have included our art department's field trip to the New Britain Museum of American Art, which was a success. It exposed students to art which they wouldn't have normally explored. The art department also participated in the district-wide art show at the 5 Point Gallery this past March 15th, showcasing Torrington High School students' artwork. Our student body has continued to publish columns on our Radar Report website, including opinion reports, school and statewide news, sports updates, etc. The online newspaper has attracted $295 to support Torrington High School's journalists as of March 25th. On Thursday, March 27th, the choir will be having the first ever concert in our new auditorium. On April 3rd, our music department is excited to announce our spring concert. This concert taking place in the Torrington High School auditorium will feature never heard before musical compositions such as Welcome Home by Dr. Scott Watson, which will be played by our concert band. Students in band are also currently focusing on promoting the genuine enjoyability of band to attract new members for the upcoming school year.
Along with the band, the orchestra will also be having concerts the same day, playing pieces such as Arrival, which was written by our student teacher, Nathan McEwen. This piece was written to showcase our excitement and gratitude for our arrival to the new building. Looking ahead to April, we're excited to announce a deliciously fun event in the new Torrington High School culinary room, our very first sandwich showdown. Robbie Pershino from Jimmy's Store will be joining us to judge the friendly competition, where our 7th and 8th period advanced culinary students will face off to create the ultimate sandwich. The winning creation will earn a spot on Jimmy's menu for the entire week. That's it. So thank you for your attention. That concludes our Torrington High School board reports.
Hopefully, Mr. Cruz shared that invitation for the sandwich. Yeah, okay.
Thanks.
As well as the
Appreciate it.
And the updates.
Change the date. So long.
I'll be here. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. Thank you for all.
Thank you for staying around.
Thank you very much.
All right, now.
Now is my turn. As I shared with the board at our last meeting, I was called back into action on the basketball court right here at TMS for their annual student and staff game. Proud to say that still undefeated, whether coaching or on the court. So the faculty did come away with a great win, but it was a really nice time had by all. A lot of families came out, a lot of students came out to do some cheering and supporting. Central office came out and really had a good cheering section for even Mr. Pagola. You know, he tried to give some tips, but we didn't listen, hence why we won. So we were very excited for that. I'm just saying. That's the truth. But it was a really nice time, and I know the faculty had a great time, and I know all the students did as well. So I'm very honored to be invited and looking forward to that. Assistant Superintendent Ferguson and I had the pleasure to read to our friends at both Forbes and Southwest. We had such a great time. It was the book selected by Ms. Belutro and others, but it was really just a great time to hang out with our young readers. And at the end, we left plenty of time for a question and answer session. And I do believe that everyone in those rooms now at Southwest and Forbes know pretty much everything about me and what I do, morning till night. But it was a really great time. Really enjoyed that. Yeah. We held a redistricting Q&A earlier this month where the entire team from central office came out and were able to answer any questions from community members and or staff members that came out. And it was pretty well attended, and we were very happy to be able to provide answers to them. Assistant Superintendent Ferguson and I also attended both literacy nights at Torrington and Vogel. And at Vogel, we actually had a special guest. We had the therapy dog Kermit with us. And if you want to pop on our website, he definitely did the interview with us. He kind of stole the show a little bit, but that's okay. It was a great time. Nice to be with everyone in the meetings. We also met with the state regarding our Alliance grant in terms of our progress and where we are towards our goals. And we received very nice accolades from our state partner about our work here in Torrington, about the growth that we're making, about the strides that we're making, and about all of the efforts that we're putting into learning both literacy and math as well. So very happy to report that. We also held a coffee and budget evening where anyone could come out and ask questions of the team as well. And we did have several people come out and we were able to ask questions and get answers to the budget, which obviously earlier this evening was moved forward to the full board for theirs. So we're very happy and excited for that. Some exciting news is you all watch or look at our social media. Central office held our first ever Spirit Week. And it really was amazing. And the highlight for me, and it was posted on Facebook, the entire central office team really got me good. They, they decided to all dress like me on Twin Day and really made my day, my week, my month, my year. So I can't thank them enough. It was really just an amazing day and it was an amazing kind gesture. So thank you to them. And if you've seen that photo, it gives you a little context now where everyone was dressed the way they were. Our spring sports seasons are underway, and our student athletes do continue to work hard both in the classroom and on the field. And I have some real exciting news to share with the board. I hope you find it exciting. I do. As I shared last year, I was invited to attend the national convention last year by RTM Group. This year I was invited again, but not only invited, but I was invited to be a speaker at the national. So I'm pretty excited. Early in April, I'll be a speaker at the national convention. My topic, which I will be hopefully wowing the crowd and making Torrington very proud, is engaging every learner, overcoming barriers to student participation, all through the power of team. So obviously everyone knows power of team is what I'm all about. And for them to reach out to me after doing their homework and recognize the good work that we do, that I do, something that I'm very humbled by and proud. And I assure you that I will make Torrington proud and give you a full report in April on how it went. And as always, I would be remiss if I didn't thank all of our staff and administrators for their hard work and dedication to all of our students. It is a highlight, and we get to see that in action, and that continues to be the case. And that is my report. Please.
Thank you and congratulations.
Congratulations. That's exciting.
Anyone have questions or remarks on the superintendent's report? Okay, hearing none, you are on the hook for now. We'll pass it over to Kim, Human Resources report.
Thank you. So you have my report in your packet. We do have one certified vacancy now. So we have a teacher that's leaving, and so we're working on recruiting candidates for that position right now. Our classified vacancies, we continue to make movement. So you can see that we've gone down from about 12 last month to a little bit less than that. I think it's 8. So, and it's actually one less than that because we actually have hired one of the paras. So we're actually down to 2 para vacancies. Laura and her team are doing an excellent job of grabbing candidates once they apply. So we're moving pretty quickly. Our fill rates continue to hover around the same that they've been. So we're in the mid 60s for our fill rates for teachers and then right around 40 for our paras. We have been meeting regularly with our partner with ESS to try to develop strategies to be able to recruit more subs for the pool. And then our absences, you can see our teacher absences still tend to be around the 9%, which year to date, we're actually trending about 2% better than where we were last year. Our para absences a little tough this month, but you know, there's been a lot going around. So. And then our initiatives, it's job fair season. So we've been out and about already. We were at UConn yesterday and we met about 20 potential candidates. So we're excited about that. There was a lot of people that visited our tables. We are scheduled to attend CCSU, SCSU, Quinnipiac. We're doing mock interviews and 2 of our administrators have agreed to go and participate in that. We're going to the Northwest Chamber of Commerce, which is at City Hall, Torrington City Hall. We're also scheduled to go to Naugatuck Valley Community College. And just today we signed up for the CEA job fair, which is going to be at Newington High School. So we're out and about everywhere, showing off our swag and talking about the great things we're doing in Torrington. The teacher residency programs, relay selection processes, the selection processes are underway and they're nearing their end. So hopefully we'll know how many residents we'll have for next year. Our residents that we have this year are continuing to progress through the program. So we're excited that we're able to support our internal talent on a pathway to becoming a teacher. We've scheduled our office hours for next month. So we're going to be getting those notices out to everybody, but we'll be out in April at all the schools. And we're working on planning for our annual walking challenge with our new platform. And we've got some really cool new prizes. So we're excited about that. On the second page of the report, you have the standard comparative of the ESS and the Torrington subs so that you can see the difference between our Torrington subs. You can see that the sick daily absences continue to be where we're seeing the highest trends. And then our turnover percentages, and just for comparative data, all of those numbers are trending less than we were at this time last year for those comparative numbers for the turnover. So we actually are retaining people and doing a nice job of keeping people in district. So we're excited about that. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
Do you have anything? Bill?
The walking challenge, is that just for students or
That's for staff, for employees.
does that include board members?
Sure, yes, absolutely. So yes, absolutely, you can join it.
He doesn't even know what they are anymore.
I know.
Here for it. So. Anybody else? Chris?
Kim, do you attribute the trending down of the absences to the incentive program?
Yes, yeah, I do think that that's been a factor.
Awesome.
Anyone else?
Just to give you some, a compliment, but I know the city council wasn't very happy about the program, but I explained to a bunch of them at the Democrat meeting, Michelle Cook, that I look at it as a bonus. We can't do a bonus. And Mr. Caminero did propose a merit pay for teachers a while back. I said, look at this that way. In effect, it becomes a merit pay. It's a bonus. And says he understood it, but I doubt very much he's gonna accept it, but, I think it's a great idea. Pardon? No, I meant understand,
Oh, okay.
but
No, I think that's
I'll be,
kind of been my perspective is
Right.
that, bonuses for various things in the
give
private
them all
sector,
the
and the
time.
public sector have been around
right,
since the dawn of time. And, I think anything we can do to show people that we value them and incentivize them, in various ways, I think that's always a good thing. And, I think this job is tough for everybody, no matter whether you're a parent or a teacher or a custodian, and anything we can do to help these people that are doing such important work for the children in this community, to me, is always a win. So thank you to the board for supporting.
and he said he understood it that way,
Yes.
proposed that way. Let's see what happens.
For what it's worth with regard to the attendance incentives as well, is at this point, I'm pretty sure for all of our bargaining units, they're collectively bargained for, or arbitrated, I suppose.
Right.
So, regardless of how much some folks around town may dislike them, they are set in stone, and certainly I think this board knows and understands that they've been successful. So while I don't want to speak for the future of our collective bargaining strategy, I would say I think they're probably going to be in these contracts for quite some time. I certainly hope so.
I hope so too.
And I've actually had other districts reaching out to me
Yeah.
because they are excited about hearing that kind of an opportunity and have asked me to share like the language so that they can look into it. Because attendance is an issue everywhere. So anything we can do to help people, I think that's the feeling. So.
Anyone else? Okay, thank you.
Thank
We'll go right ahead for the special education.
Sure. So you guys have my report. I'm in the packet. Our numbers are fairly consistent. We're still seeing the same pattern with pre-K. Every month just going up, we have a few more. Other than that, we had a kind of an unexpected outplacement up this month with 5 more children being outplaced. So I put the reasons down below for that, just to make you aware. Our prevalence rate remains around 15.7%, which is where we've been all year, actually for the past 2 years. We should begin to see a little bit of an uptick and then probably a slowdown. What happens this time of year is schools begin to really look at kids that they feel need to be evaluated for special ed. It's the end of the year before they go on to their new school. So we tend to get quite a few referrals at this time. Sometimes parents will put in referrals too, especially if they're worried about their child entering a new school. So we may see a little bit of an uptick, and then after that, it should slow down. But I was surprised to see this month we actually went down 2 in district, so that's great. Our 504 numbers are there. Currently, we have 38 open special education referrals, so that's the initial referral. So that's what I was just talking about. So those children are being evaluated. We should begin to see that slow down after April 1st. So far this school year, 28 students have been exited from special ed and are once again general ed students. So that always makes me feel good. Kim talked about our special ed staffing, and I'm very happy to report that you guys must have done some magic because I got a speech pathologist after bringing it up last month. So she was hired and we're very excited for her to start, and we've had another applicant. So that's really exciting. After going all year with no speech, all of a sudden we have that. So my team, my speech pathologists have done an amazing job just trying to keep things status quo during this time, and we've been able to service the students and whatnot, but we will be very happy to be fully staffed in that area again. And as Kim said, we right now need 2 paras. That's it. Maybe one, I'm hoping. So we're in pretty good shape, staff wise, so let's hope that continues for the rest of the year. And I think, oh, then the only other thing is, last week I attended Southwest Tag Program, had the spelling bee. And they will be having one at Forbes this Friday. So that's for the scripts, spelling bee, and those students will go on, the winner will go on to the state competition. So it was really exciting. They had a full library of parents. It was really nice to see. And that's it.
Here,
You may know the answer, but I'm gonna ask you anyway. Has the state notified us of what, if any, dollars we'll be seeing for special ed?
Yeah, so I'm gonna kind of turn that to Donna, but IGEA, we're not being touched. We're gonna be fine with that. So
But the additional funding that they announced, they didn't announce Torrington. Do we know?
Yeah.
Funding. They're still working on that. I believe it's in a bill, and the bill isn't gonna pass till like the 3rd Wednesday of June or something, you know, so we won't know here or there yet. But it is showing positive.
I forget, is excess costs one that ends up in our coffers?
No.
No, that's what I thought.
First, and we have to request it.
I think,
Right.
yeah, I think Torrington might have been looking at about 600,000 in the excess cost. We were, the bill does.
And I'm sorry,
Go ahead now.
that was one of the reasons why the governor had vetoed it, because he wanted it to directly, this is what I was coming to show, to go directly to the schools. And it was decided by the legislature that it was gonna go to the cities first. So the original bill was for it to go directly to the recipients. And remember, he ended up signing, but it was going to the cities first. So it's going to the city.
And now, is there an obligation for them to turn it over? Right, I didn't think so.
Right.
That's
I think I had a discussion with Ed Aram at some point.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I hope that we can eventually maybe see some of those dollars, but I don't know how enthusiastic we are. Funding on that.
Well, if we request it, does it have to be
Because it
accommodated?
doesn't, unfortunately, with excess costs, and every district is in the same position, some better than others, obviously. So while we can request the excess cost dollars, there is no statute or mandate that says the dollar come back to $1 per dollar.
Which is why the governor wanted it to go to the schools to begin with.
That's what I was told.
Yeah, so I was at a superintendent conference last week, and the governor was there, as was the commissioner. And that was one of the panel discussions to try to curb that legislation to really make it back to the schools. But where it sits right now, Donna is correct. There is no definitive answer, but to answer the question that was on the table, there is no mandate currently. If the city were to get X dollars in excess costs, and we request all X, we can get 0 to 100%. And there is no formula that dictates otherwise, unfortunately.
Since they don't address that.
And because we have not insignificant expenses that would be considered excess costs related to our place students. Things like that. That might be, once we get through budget, and as that advances through Hartford, it may be an interesting number to see what would be excess cost. I know there's a formula, I don't off the top of my head. Anyone else have anything related to special education? Bill?
So we can, the excess cost dollars, we can request them, but there's no guarantee of us getting them.
That is correct. We can request, and we get anywhere from 0 to 100% of the request. There is no formula mandating what that number would be.
That stinks.
But well said. That's it. Yeah, unfortunately, I think the theory behind a lot of this stuff is that towns, cities, and their respective school boards will all get along all the time. And unfortunately, that just is not always the case. Anyone else have anything for special ed? Okay, thank you. We have next, so we have liaison reports, as always, they come across the wire, some if not all of them made it into the packet. But since all of our administrators are here, if anyone wants to add anything to your liaison report or tell us something exciting about your buildings. Okay, so we'll do the monthly financials.
Great. Good evening, everybody. Everyone has the monthly financials in the packet. They were presented to the budget committee. And we're in very good standing, as far as where we are in the school year. And so if anybody had any questions regarding it?
Just one quick question. Define very good standing. I haven't been to budget meetings. If it can do it in like a short snippet.
Sure, I can do that.
Or you can say, shut up.
So we're looking good as far as our encumbrances, so we set aside money in order to get us to the end of the year. And then outside of the encumbrances is the salary lines, and we're looking good in order to make the end of the year ending in a good position.
Mean excess funds or just? Well, probably not.
Probably
I know we're not,
yeah.
right, so you're right. Probably.
Closer
I know, I'm
closer
mistaken.
now. The encumbrances. And we'll be looking into that, probably at the next meetings, as we zone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Someone mentioned to me that, and I don't have the bandwidth to make the budget meeting today either, but somebody mentioned to me that we're over in the line item that we pay for the attendance payments. Are we over in that line? And if so, can we cover it somewhere else?
Yes,
Okay.
we are over and we can cover
And
other under, and other line items we're under, so it's easy to come.
great, and I guess this is maybe not strictly related to the monthly financials, but while we're on the topic. I don't have the budget in front of me at this exact second to find this, but have we expanded the amount of money in that line in the next fiscal year's budget? Yes, okay, great.
Yeah.
Great, so as long as we're on top of that, works for me. Anyone else have anything to the budget? Or monthly financials? Okay. So now we have the committee reports. Tell us about the school improvement committee.
This past month's meeting, the March meeting was at Forbes School. And our report was about 4 or 5 schools, Forbes and Southwest, where test scores have been showing improvement, which is expected to continue even as the students move into a new building. And maybe be easier, in fact, to deliver the things that work the best. Our meeting next week will start with a non-meeting to choose the distinguished alumnus. We have those nominations all set. Mrs. Ferguson put those together for us gloriously, and we're all set to go on those. And we will have at that meeting on the program, the middle school report. So we'll have a chance to talk about the middle school, and we're working on getting a community partner report for the first time this year. We've given that a few months off.
Yeah.
And there's room in the agenda for this, so show up at the meeting, it'll be fun, it always is.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions for John? Okay, it's facilities and technology. Quick, you can put it in the AV.
Well, we didn't really have too much to talk about last month with the lack of funding. But what was on our agenda? As far as Rachel, we had the social media and tech update, she had our standard responses, her team's doing a great job keeping social media up to date. Keeping the computers running and chasing down punch list items for the new school. On the facility side, there were 2 things on our agenda. We spoke about the generator move, which is still in the works.
Complete.
That's complete. Okay, the generator move is complete. Then the other thing was the PMS roof project. Big thing we kind of talked about, that's in the works. The timeline is going up big. And we'll have more on that in the next meeting. When we're.
Anyone have any questions?
If anybody wants to throw any topics for facilities and technology, please. Our agenda is a little thin. So if you want to know about anything, please message me and we'll add it to the agenda for next one.
Do you see the curves, Gary?
Everywhere.
And Dean rolled his eyes.
And move my eyes.
I've been listening to Gary talk about curves.
Walked in this building and somebody's gonna break their ankle.
Well, I'll address that with your buddy from city council.
That's right.
Oh,
They
wow.
keep providing zero money.
Oh, I
for
know.
capital improvement for the Board of Ed.
I've been bringing.
You're not gonna get any curves.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay?
Maybe we ask him.
You can pick rocks out of the woods to make curves.
He's not wrong.
You're better at it than I am.
Okay. Do we have anything else for facility? Okay, budget committee. Tell us what you did an hour ago.
Oh, that meeting?
Well, no, just in general. Tell us about budget committee.
Well, the one before I wasn't there, Jeff
Okay.
chaired the meeting, it was at a concert.
Want me to cover that part?
Yeah.
Sure. We went over the budget as we have for the last few months. Donna gave us some reports, went through all the different Q&A questions that came in, discussed a little bit about funding impact from, the federal government moving some of the funding to the state and just what some of the grants, Title I, Title II would look like. It was a bit early to know anything at that point, but went over those various things and just asked a couple more questions about the budget. And we missed Ellen.
And then tonight's meeting, we passed the budget to the full city.
Should be.
It was a very long meeting, yeah. But we did it.
Anyone have anything related to the budget committee? Okay. Building committee, I think there's the mix up. I talked to Mario earlier today. We didn't really remind them that we had a meeting and that we wanted them to show up. So that's on Sue and I. But
There's a quick one. I mean, tomorrow, just most of the question is the turf. ONG has the numbers from Fucci. We have a long meeting tomorrow. Are you going to that, by the way? ONG's office. They've given us all the numbers, but it's still gonna be probably, it'll be a grinding 4 hours, 3 or 4 hours tomorrow. Just to go through their numbers and get it. It looks like it's gonna work out, but he's got a breakdown that some of us don't understand, and ONG's gonna get real answers. Hopefully. It will. We'll get the numbers that really need to be with. Seems to be in line. It's not as clear as it should be.
And I know some folks have been asking after sort of an expanded view of the financials for the project. So I spoke to Mario today. He sent me some documents as a sort of preliminary answer to the questions. So I'm going to continue to work with him. Sue and I are going to get on the phone with him sometime this week and make sure that anybody who wants to see something that they don't feel like they've seen, we will get it. So in that vein, if members of the board or administrative team want to see things related to the project's costs, where the money's gone, what's encumbered, et cetera, just let us know. So that we can make sure that folks feel like they're actually getting the answers that they are looking for. For what it's worth, my phone call with Mario was not combative at all. He was responsive to what I asked him for, and I want to put that on the record because sometimes people think that he and I are fighting. So no, we're working together with them to get some of the things we're looking for. But
I will add, he may want to check his tone in some of his messages in his response.
Really.
If we could, maybe at this point, because the project is running down, we could host a joint Board of Ed building committee meeting. So that we can just kind of talk through what's left. And I think it makes sense for any project that's coming to an end. And we have a closed down meeting. So maybe over the next few weeks, we can facilitate something that's out.
Yeah, if people are interested in that on the board, we can tack that on to the things that we're gonna ask of Mario and Ed when we speak with them.
No surprises on the demo yet, but I wouldn't hold my breath for now.
We didn't start digging yet, right?
Well,
Are you
well,
digging or?
they haven't started going, well, that's not true. They have gone underground in some cases, but
Oh.
the big knob out there where the music room is might be a little problem. But I think it's a rock pile, but we'll see.
Okay. Anyone else have anything to the building committee? Okay, let's move right along. We have Board of Ed minutes, for the regular meeting, February 26th, and special meetings on February 18th, February 19th, and March 10th. So as long as there's no objection, I would hear a motion to accept and approve all of those together. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, so that's made by Mr. Kisco and seconded by Mr. Putnam. Any discussion, amendments to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Okay. And then we have the subcommittee meeting minutes, so that's facilities and technology, February 12th, budget on the same date. School improvement on February the 5th, and the building committee on February 20th. Again, barring any objection, I move here to receive all of those committee meeting minutes as one bundle.
So moved.
There's second.
Second.
Okay, any amendments? Those minutes, hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, okay, those minutes off the board. We have the consent agenda, it's in your packet as usual. I will hear a motion to receive the consent agenda regarding appointments, retirements, and resignations.
May I make a comment first?
Certainly.
Always happy to see someone come to the end of a successful teaching career with a retirement. We have two such people on the consent agenda tonight. I can't say that I know Ms. Roche, but Mary DeMarchi will definitely be missed for her academic standards and her ability to get along with kids in all the right ways. I want to just congratulate her on coming to this point in her career.
And her partner, Lisa, Mrs. Roach worked very closely together, I think, in the English program. Right,
Oh,
so-
they're retiring together.
Yes.
Very,
nice.
very strongly
I agree.
academic.
Thank you, Mr. Kisco. Anyone else with remarks? Hearing none, I will still hear a motion regarding receiving the consent agenda.
Move to accept.
There's a second.
Second.
Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that's done. We are on to new information and action. It looks like a lot, but there's just one item that's really long. But before that, we have the field trip, which is THS. They want to go to the Met on May the 20th. Are you telling us about that, or is it Mr.
You know what? No, we're gonna welcome Emily Murphy, who's gonna talk to us about that. Thank you for coming, Emily. Yeah.
I'm Emily Murphy. I'm an art teacher at high school, and I want to just sort of start by saying, really that the 5 Points show was acknowledged tonight. That was a huge undertaking to plan a district-wide art show. And it's so important to get our kids' talent out there in the community, and you can expect to see something in community art show yearly from now on. Maybe not always at 5 Points, but we'll, it was fantastic. So, and thank you for those of you that did come out and see it. It was great. So, should I just run through the details of the trip?
Yeah, just give us like a quick and dirty summary.
All right, okay. So the field trip will be to New York City on May 20th. We're gonna leave at about 7:45 in the morning and return around 5 in the evening. It's for 50 students who are either currently enrolled in art classes or who have taken art classes. There's a lot of interest, so we'll give preference to seniors and students in upper level art classes like AP art, painting, and whatnot. This tends to be an annual trip. We usually go every year. It's really incredible for these kids to get out to the Met. The Met boasts having over 5,000 years of art history in their museum. It's huge, it's gorgeous. We ask the kids to, be respectful and explore the museum, and then to do some kind of reflection. We have a Google form that we ask them to fill out on completion of the field trip. I think that's quick and dirty.
Yeah, and very exciting.
Yeah.
Sounds wonderful.
Any questions for me?
Anyone have anything? No.
Is this funded all totally by the field trip account, or are the students paying some of
So,
this?
I have it, it's broken down. Students are gonna pay a small fee as part of like partial commitment. We're using Alliance funding for transportation, museum admission. We have an art field trip fund that we're gonna use for substitute teachers. And then students have to pay for their own lunches.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Any minutes? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I mean, thank you for covering.
I would just add as well, that the guy who runs the hot dog cart outside of the Metropolitan Museum of Art is a New York legend. Yeah, they did a documentary about him. Excellent hot dogs. Cannot say enough.
They can all have lunch there.
But with that, unless there's any additional discussion, I would hear a motion to approve the THS Met Museum field trip for. There's second.
Second.
Okay, any additional discussion? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, field trip is approved.
Thank you.
That must be good. Okay, so next up, we have the healthy food certification. We do this every year. I know you're gonna tell us a little bit about it, I'm sure, but unfortunately, I just want to warn you now, I do have to read the entirety of both of these paragraphs when we get to voting on this, unfortunately. So I just want you to be prepared.
Kristen is here this evening to give us the highlights.
I do not have it memorized.
That's okay.
So give us some highlights, Kristen, as to.
The healthy food certification, requires us to follow all the child nutrition standards, which we do anyway. You're already bound by those, but enrolling in this certification, we are given 10 cents more per meal that goes out of our business. So it comes as a lump sum at the end of the year, and it's very substantial. So,
No, that comes to us, right?
yeah.
We have, I would add, we've done this for several years now. When it first started, we had some hiccups related to whether kids could have snacks at birthday parties in classrooms, but the program actually changed to accommodate that. So this has really been nothing but good for our school district. So does anyone have anything else to add? Okay. We're gonna do two motions on this. I would first hear a motion as follows, that pursuant to Connecticut General Statute, section 10-215F. The Torrington Public Schools certifies that all food items offered for sale to students in the schools under its jurisdiction and not exempted from the Connecticut nutrition standards published by the Connecticut State Department of Education will comply with the Connecticut nutrition standards during the period of July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. This certification shall include all food offered for sale to students separately from reimbursable meals at all times and from all sources, including but not limited to school stores, vending machines, school cafeterias, culinary programs, and any fundraising activities on school premises sponsored by the school or non-school organizations and groups. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that's number one. And I will hear a motion as follows, that the Torrington Public Schools will allow, the sale to students of food items that do not meet the Connecticut nutrition standard, provided that the following conditions are met. One, the sale is in connection with an event occurring after the end of the regular school day or on the weekend. Two, the sale is at the location of the event. And three, the food items are not sold from a vending machine or school store. And the event is an occurrence that involves more than just a regularly scheduled practice meeting or extracurricular activity. For example, soccer games, school plays, and interscholastic debates are events, but soccer practices, play rehearsals, and debate team meetings are not. The regular school day is the period from midnight before to 30 minutes after the end of the official school day. Location means where the event is being held and must be the same place as food sales. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so we're good to go. I hope on the healthy food certification. We have next, the 2025-2026 budget. Which the budget committee just adopted, in which in some iteration or another, really materially the same version, you have all seen or heard about many times, but if you want to summarize it for posterity.
Sure, I have no problem. First of all, I'd like to thank the board for their support numerous times coming out and hearing our presentation from the entire team. It is a team effort, as I shared from the beginning. It starts at the building level, comes all the way to central office level. Obviously, Donald Abbey puts it together and works closely with me and the rest of the team to bring a well thought out budget that really has students at its center. And that's what was presented to the board a month or so back. And that's what we're proud to present. And the kind of highlight for us, and one thing that, you know, anyone who is tuning in and wants to really kind of just recapture everything is to just read the story behind the numbers. And the story behind the numbers, and that is our story. And our story is special and it is unique to us because we do have unique needs, just like every other district has. But the other highlight that I'd like to mention is, while people might say, wow, that's an impressive number at 7.28%. What people don't understand, and I've made sure to reference this, is you cannot, and we cannot, continue with under 1% for several years. No successful business, no successful organization can do that. If that were the case, people would close the doors and either shut down their business, or in some cases, when it comes to organizations like our schools, they would actually shut down valuable programs, as I highlighted in my report tonight, and Mr. Kessler highlighted from the School Improvement Committee, that we're already being noticed for our growth. So we do not want to lose that. We cannot afford to lose that. Our students are way too important for us to put that in jeopardy. So that is the reason for the increase. Every dollar is accounted for, and every dollar goes back to how is it going to impact our students. And that is exactly what this budget does. This budget took into consideration the financial component that we understand that our taxpayers, all of which you are, and which many of our teachers are, places on them. However, that is what is needed for our schools to continue the good work and for us to continue to grow and succeed. And I am very confident with the preliminary numbers just from our fall to winter, that our winter to spring will be even higher. So we know it's working. You know it's working because it's shared at these committee meetings. And we just appreciate the support to continue to make that work. And that would be the highlight for the budget.
Thank you. And I just, it's occurred to me, so next up, we have the redistricting plan, but since this budget that the budget committee's adopted, it does consider that or I should say, it assumes that the redistricting plan would be approved as presented. Is that correct? Just so that everyone's clear that these two things are kind of tied together.
They're tied together in a lot of ways, in terms of how the money would come back in with the redistricting. However, as we also shared, if we do not go with redistricting, we lose some Title I funds, and then that becomes a wash. So while they're connected, yes, for intensive purposes from a staff perspective and from funding it, remember the way that we're funding the redistricting is all coming from a grant. It is not coming from budgetary dollars. We would lose money from the Title I, which would impact other things where we would have to reshuffle. So in that argument, we are connected, but in the other argument, we are not where they would be separate. If that clarifies.
Yes. No, I think it's important that folks
I agree.
understand
No, I
the
appreciate
nature
the
of the
question.
connection between them. So with the student transportation, this is reflective of the savings we've already achieved with our private school partner. Is that right?
So the private school partners is not reflected in our budget. That would come off to fund the redistricting the program. So
it lives in the same line.
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
As long as it's sort of a factor and it lives somewhere,
That is
that's all I really care about. That's all I've got. Does anyone else have anything? Bill?
So that I understand what you said a minute ago, there's a possibility that we can lose some of the Title I funding.
Well, as we presented, if we close doors on buildings that get Title I funding, that funding would go away from that said building. We would have to, in essence, try to obtain other funding by using different facilities. But yes, they are tied to the building specific current.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I understood.
Yep.
Yeah, actually, that's a good segue. I had somebody reach out to me about some of these funds related to redistricting, et cetera. I think it's worth putting on the record that the title funds are tied to the structure and the circumstances of the people who live in the immediate area of the building. It doesn't actually have anything to do with the students who go there, which is sort of an odd way for the federal government to assign funds. But it sort of assumes that every school is a neighborhood school. So weirdly enough, even as you shuffle students around, the title funds assigned to the buildings don't change. Unless the demographics of the people who live in the area immediately surrounding the school change. So I just thought that was interesting. The last thing I have actually is during the discussion of the redistricting, the last time we discussed it, I put forward the idea of adding an additional full-time equivalent certified teacher for the expulsion program. Is that factored in both the redistricting plan you're going to ask us to vote on next and also in the budget, or was it not included?
It was not included, and the reason it was not included was because where we want to house the expulsion program, we will have a full-time administrator as well as we will have faculty there currently as well to oversee. And if you recall, all of our tutors for our expel program are certified staff. They retired certified staff, but they are certified there. It is not just someone that we will get to do the tutoring. So while we can certainly still try to find grant dollars to cover that additional position, if that is the board's pleasure, we didn't feel that it was necessary at that point, just because of all of the extra personnel that we have and because they are certified.
Okay. Anyone else? I took up a lot of the time here. Chris.
I know we've talked about this privately and publicly. I just want to make sure that we're not losing staff, no matter what may come federally, citywide, whatever.
100%, that has been something,
Okay.
and I appreciate you asking the question. That is.
I know we've
something
talked
I've
about
said.
it, and you're very adamant about not losing people, but I
That's
just wanted to make sure.
That is our position, and that is what we're standing.
Okay, thank you.
School people at all levels are optimists. You couldn't come into work if you didn't have high expectations and high hopes as a teacher working with students and the administrators, if you were an administrator working with teachers and students and so on. And I think the budget is best viewed that way. It's an aspirational budget. Whether it's realistic to expect to get it or not is another story. Redistricting in Torrington, not redistricting, reevaluation in Torrington is going to be a disaster financially because residential real estate has gone up in value. It's a desirable place to live. There's very little housing stock available. Commercial real estate, on the other hand, is a drug on the market, so to speak. And so the balance is going to change. The taxpayers, the resident taxpayers, are going to end up paying more money than they have proportionally in the past. In fact, in the case of my house, even if everybody gets zeroed out, I'm looking at a 27% increase in my taxes just because of the way things work. So I don't think we're going to be able to get any place near what we're asking for. We have to hope for it. We have to go in for it.
And we have to ask
We have to
for it,
let people
right.
know this is what we need
Right.
to do what we need to do. And this maybe applies more to the redistricting, but they're, as Ed said, they're related items. I hope that when we get this kicked back to us, that the board will have a chance to be more involved rather than reactive in what we do to accommodate the cuts. Just, I hope that happens. I'm going to vote for the budget. I'm going to vote for the redistricting, but with the understanding that I hope when it gets kicked back, that we'll have a chance for real input and developing a new program if necessary. And that's it. That's all I want to say.
Thank you. And in the same vein, I remain committed to the idea that there can be significant savings found by making students walk to school if they live near the new building. So just in the vein that John's getting at, where it's almost a certainty that we will get not 7.28% increase in our funds from the city. I would like to remind everybody that I think that that's worth exploring for a significant savings in transportation. That's all I'll say about that for now, because we're not at that part of the budget process yet. Anyone else? I don't see that.
I got a question on the Title I funding. I thought that the Title I funding was ours legally to a certain percentage. That we weren't really, that it was tied, if you redistricted in Title I, that money would follow the students as long as you were redistricting, was my understanding of it.
I wish it was that way, but it's based on a census tract. So as the co-chair was referencing, it's based on household income. It's sort of this lofty formula. But it is based on the neighborhood schools. So it unfortunately does not follow the students.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, then I will hear a motion to that the board adopt a fiscal year 25-26 budget in the amount of $84,452,549 or 7.28% increase, and further to direct the administration to submit that request to the city.
So
Second.
Any additional discussion on the question before us? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The budget is approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, that's the redistricting, the redistricting plan. Again, we've all talked about this a lot, I couldn't tonight, but if you wanna say a few words from posterity.
Sure. I could try to put a bow on it. We're very excited when this was asked of me and of the team. We actually, the plan that was shared way back when was a plan that stood the same. And it stood the same, obviously, with a lot more detail, a lot more attention to detail, as it should have. We were very appreciative of the questions that the board had asked for us to clarify, and the team did a great job on that. And you heard the team present the benefits for all students. While some people have the misconception, and it's by no means to be offensive, please, no one take it as such. Everyone hears the word that we want to do an alternative school. But I think if we rewind the tape, and that's how old I am, sorry, the Vimeo, whatever you want to say. If you want to rewind, where Assistant Superintendent Ferguson, I think, articulated it the best. This provides an opportunity for all students. It's not just for the students who, school, they need an alternative setting. It's for all students, because remember, in this plan, those current teachers that we have teaching alternative are now going to be repurposed, offer more electives to our students. And we've known that electives are really engage our students, rather than taking a study hall, rather than trying to leave early or come in late, right? And these are the things that we're able to now offer because of it. So these are the pieces why it affects all students. So when I say misconception, it's because people say, oh, it's alternative, it's just for students who aren't school diversity. No, hold on, rewind. It's for all students, and that's what this plan accomplishes. It accomplishes for all students, just like repurposing the buildings to give us some breathing room in some of our other buildings. Our buildings are taxed. And I will say, and I know that I do give Dean a hard time when it comes to basketball coaching, and I always will, but as a facilities director, Dean works tremendously hard with his team. He keeps these buildings really looking good, no matter how taxed they are, no matter how much traffic there's through.
Curbs.
And- Except for the curb, yes, there. But I think. What I think people have to realize is he does a great job, he and his team. And some people forget, well, it looks good. Well, during the day, every ounce of space is taken, and every ounce of space then has to be gone through at the end of the day. So this alleviates that. This gives us some breathing room. This gives us some maneuverability, if you will, within those buildings during the day. And it brings great programs, as Laura had mentioned, and she articulated that beautifully, the programs that we're not only transferring over, but the potential to bring programs over. I mean, potential is a word as educators, I know I get excited, and, I hope the board does, right? I mean, that is the excitement, right? What can we do for our students now and in the future? And we've answered that. So that's why we're so excited about the redistricting. It's not just this is what we can do, right? This is what we can do now, and this is what we can do now to plan for our future, and our future for all students. And Mr. Kisco, you hit it off earlier. Housing's at a premium right now. You can't find one, right? Well, that means there's some students coming here or are here already, and that's wonderful. We want our population to increase. So why not have our population increase with that focus and that attention to what we're going to be able to provide for all students? And that's what this redistricting plan does.
So we've heard a little bit about it already. I only have one other question, which is just that, with regard to, sort of the maps for the elementary school students, when would you anticipate, assuming that we adopt this plan tonight, when would you anticipate being able to notify the families of the students? I know it's also going to be a big process with with our employees. When will we be able to notify the families and where their kids have gone?
Great question. Donna has spoken to Rich at All Star. I've spoken to Rich at All Star. They're working on it and that map that is rough, and we understand that, but we wanted to provide something, right? We couldn't get it laser like focus, but our plan is right around right before April break. And Rich knows that, and if we can get that out before April break, I think if obviously the board does approve it, I think that gives parents more than time to obviously look and see and understand, and then possibly call and ask questions. So our plan would be right before April break to get that out, and All Star is on board.
That's so anyone have any questions, comments, concerns?
I have a comment. I'm voting for it, but I do have some concerns. Actually, great things first. The alternative program is going to be a huge benefit to the overall classroom environment, right? And that's an important thing to everybody on this board, is getting the right classes together where you put the people in the position to be successful in a classroom, in things outside of the classroom. That's very important. I do have some concerns, and they're all dollar related. The concerns are that you look at everywhere in the state, the financing, the funding, the city budgets, it's a tough environment out there for us. The funding from the federal government coming back to the state, we're an alliance district, so even no matter what happens with that, you have to be hopeful that we would be on the receiving end of that still. But if we put together a 7.28% increase, $5.5 million ish, if we don't get all of that, I would like to think that we may have to be creative to keep these important programs around. I mean, doing the alternative program is important for all of the students in our district, but I would be remiss if I wasn't concerned that we're going in the direction of additional buildings, which, not to say we don't need them, but the other districts are having to go in the opposite direction due to funding. So I would just want to be on record as saying that very important programs, but if push comes to shove, we're going to have to figure out a creative way to do this where we can do everything with limited funds. Hopefully the city honors our request and we get the funding that this town deserves and the students and families deserve, but we just have to keep in mind that it's going to be a difficult path if they don't.
Anyone?
I'm in agreement. Budget money, but we're almost, so we can figure it out.
Shoot, Gary.
I think we all can agree that this is worth doing, just may get harder to pay for as time goes on.
Well, I say that just, how many years have we gone through this zero? And somehow we found a way. I said to Sue or somebody, we've been succeeding, we've been winning lately. Hopefully we continue to win, whether it be easy or hard, but I suspect we'll find a way to get through it, and hopefully it continues, but.
Your superintendent is a magician.
I think we've seen.
That's not, but.
I just want to tag on to Gary quick. You said it is sustainability, right? So that's probably the other concern. Superintendent Wilson has pointed out, as everybody on this board who's been around long enough knows, the year after year of zeros and 0.5s make this very difficult. So we need to be considerate of that with the relationship we have with the budget and the city at this time. If we're not getting the funding we need, we have to look long-term what happens to us and make those decisions as best we can.
And with the federal government help,
I'd like to associate myself with Jeff's comments.
Anyone else? Okay, then I would hear a motion to adopt the superintendent's proposed redistricting plan.
So moved.
There's a second.
Second.
Okay, made by Mr. Knight, seconded by Mr. Uclito. Any additional discussion, question before us? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Thank you, Skip, all of you. Okay, now we have the TMS roof replacement project education specifications.
I
That
can
was
take
not me.
it.
He looked like he was ready to go down.
Listen, I can take
Yes.
It's in
Glenn was
the
in.
packet.
Yeah.
Leave.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is a part of the 20-point application process for the TMS roof replacement project here. So we just had to get that bit of information to the state and to round out our application. And while I'm speaking, I could probably speak to the second item as well. They also had changed their legislation around one-person committees, building committees recently. So we just had to add one more person to the committee, so Dean's not all alone. And they
We'll do that
recommend-
tonight.
Okay, yes, and so that would be the second to have a designee from the Board of Ed to be a part of that building. So the two items there.
So this is just a routine part of a project that's already well underway.
Absolutely.
Great. Anybody? I will hear a motion.
I would actually like to nominate Glenn.
Well, then
Yes.
we have to do the ed specs first. That's before.
Are we to vote on the ed specs? Oh, okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
so I will-
Okay.
Yeah, I'll hear a motion to approve the EMS electric education specifications.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, now, Sue, go ahead and.
We're good. I'd like to nominate Glenn to act as the second on the subcommittee.
I second.
And we don't necessarily need the board to vote on that as long as there's no objection. Sue and I will agree.
Appoint him.
Yeah, appoint him.
We already told him he was.
Yeah.
All in favor?
He was volunteering.
We're gonna tally it with another school construction. And I'm not being upset about it.
I'll go with it.
It's nice that you volunteered, Larry.
That's better, Ellen.
Good save.
A committed public servant.
Make me feel way more.
Okay, yeah, as Donna said, the law just requires a member of the Board of Education to be on any building committee now. So we'll dispense with that then. And then the last thing we have, the possible executive session regarding discussion concerning strategy related to pending freedom of information claim case number 2024-0638. That would be with the superintendent and attorney Jeff Ritter, assuming that she is available to join the Zoom.
Do you have a link?
Yes.
Where is it? Yeah.
So is there a motion as such, enter executive session? Okay, any discussion, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, board is in executive session, 6:40. Back in session at 7:19. We have
Yes.
items for the upcoming agenda. So it's more than likely that we will not yet have our budget back from the city, but in the event that we do, that'll go on that agenda, of course. We will maybe have more for the roof project. I don't know if it'll move that fast for April. We'll have all the usual mayor's reports, committee reports, monthly financials. What else? If anything? Maybe on the next month's agenda. Maybe field trip or two. Okay, if no one else has anything, then we'll go to comments for the good of the order. I will start at the far end of the table with Mr. Cronin. Mr. Neck.
Was a great meeting. In a couple of the meetings, I was talking about getting a new phone that would make me more effective. It's about 90% voice activated. I have it. It's been activated. I'm working on learning how to use it as John saw this evening. I had a few hiccups which Josh was able to help me with, but for the moment, I also still have the flip phone that I've been using as a backup in case I call Guam or something. But eventually I'm going to have a new phone number, and this phone will allow me to which is important for this group, will allow me to send and receive text messages.
Excellent. We are glad to hear it. And thank you, Josh, for.
Not too many of us
today.
Thank you for whoever put together this recognition, the food and the other recognitions. Thank you very much. And the art show, just to remind us what a great time that was, and when it comes up again, I think it's over, right? It's all over. The art show.
Yeah,
It's all over. Yeah. Because it was just it's a great little show. Anyway.
Good meeting. Thank you guys for all the effort and for our appreciation. We appreciate you guys as well. Just a big encouragement to the rest of the board when these meetings come up with the city to support this budget, as many of us who can go as possible. To try and, parents, teachers, anybody who we can bring out to help further the cause.
Thank you for the appreciation. I haven't been here much, but also as difficult as we have it, I just thank God we're not Region 6. I think that's what Litchfield, Goshen, and Warren are. We seem to be in a much better spot than they are, given the circumstances, and so things aren't so bad.
Things are great.
Things are great. Right.
Thank you, good meeting, and thank you to Sue and Michael for the appreciation spread.
I'll echo those words and like to express my appreciation to Dean, your staff setting everything up, and the food service team for providing good meals, which should be recognized as well. Those two good people. Great. Great.
All set. Thank you. Good meeting.
Oh, good meeting. Congratulations to everybody on getting all this stuff passed.
Yeah, I wanted to say thank you guys for really always kind of supporting and trusting in the people that you have in central office, because not every district has that. So we know it's a big budget, but you guys will be there to support us, and thank you so much for the redistricting.
No, great meeting, and I was gonna say the same thing. Thank you for supporting the budget and the redistricting plan. And supporting the central office team. So thank you.
Wonderful meeting as always. Thank you for your support and all that you do. It's a volunteer position and we know that, and we just can't thank you enough for your time and really paying attention to the details. It really is great. Our leadership, I do want to thank Mr. Wilson for pulling us through and being the light in sometimes dark times. But we're heading into the bright time. We've got the sun behind, so it's all good.
Great meeting. I was just going to say what Thomas said. I thank you to everybody. I wanted to give a special shout out to Michael, because he always looks on the bright side.
And we haven't always had that, so he always reminds us that it's a great day. And we're gonna make it an even greater day, and it always works out, right?
Thank you. So thank you, congratulations, and thank you again to all the board members. As I started this evening, we can't do this without you. So it's a team effort, and this is just a small token of our appreciation of you. We know that the hours upon hours of work and the thankless times, this is a time for us to say thank you, and we couldn't be more thankful of you. So thank you, and thank you for a great meeting, and thank you for voting on the budget that we did.
Yeah, thank you for all that you did, you put on this evening for the force recognition. I also want to mention, because you sent out.
Yes.
So I just want to recognize Mrs. Mary Graziani, for many years of service, who was elected to retire. And I want to congratulate our very own Marissa, on moving into a new role in Central Office. And for once, I don't even have anything to be upset about.
Are you sure? This is kind of unlike you.
That's right, I'll take your place.
So I'll just read out the future meetings really quickly. So we have here at TAMS, Wednesday 2nd, we have school improvement at 5:30 and policy right after. Wednesday the 9th at Midgeon Avenue, we'll have facilities and technology at 5:30 and the budget committee meeting thereafter. And then the Board of Education meeting at Torrington on April 30th at 5:30 p.m. And with that, I will hear a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.